Hello, WealthLab users. Glitch here. Today we're going to talk about what's new in WealthLab 8 Build 40. So let's get started. The first and major piece of new functionality in Build 40 is a tight integration with Collective2. So recently we decommissioned our Wealth Signals service, which was a website where you could publish trading system signals and then other people could subscribe to your strategies for a monthly fee. We decided we needed to focus all of our effort on WealthLab instead of splitting up our limited resources into WealthLab and Wealth Signals. So we shut down Wealth Signals. So therefore, there's a gap. Where do people who are using Wealth Signals, where can they now publish their strategies? That's why we thought, let's talk to Collective2 and see if we can, work something out where we can integrate, and that could be a good solution for people to migrate to who were using Wealth Signals. So here in Build 40, we have a very good tight integration now with Collective2. So the first step is you'll need to understand how to configure the configuration in Collective2 for WealthLab 8. So the first thing is, let's go to the Collective2 website. And if you go to your public profile here, you'll notice at the end of this URL, there's this numeric value. You'll need this numeric code, first of all, and able to log into Collective2 in WealthLab. So take a note of this. Secondly, if I go to C2 Resources API, you'll need to create an API key. So click there. I've already created a key, of course, but you'll go here and you'll create an API 4 key. Do not use the API 3. We're connecting using the API 4 key. So once you have your numeric user ID and your API key, let's see how we can now connect to Collective2 in WealthLab 8. So the first point of integration is in our Signals Publisher. So the Signals Publisher is good for running end-of-day strategies and submitting them to a back-end publishing service, exactly like how Wealth Signals used to be, exactly what Collective2 currently is, and our mini strategy publishing service WealthSim that runs on the wealthlab.com website. So you can now publish to WealthSim or Collective2 in our Signals Publisher. So in order to do that, you need to drag one of your WealthLab strategies into this tool and link it to a corresponding strategy on Collective2. And let me drag that and drop it into the Signal Publisher. You'll see a configuration dialog pop up. So here you select the publishing service. The options are Collective2, a dummy test service that we provide, and WealthSim. So let's select Collective2. Now here's where you would enter those credentials I talked about earlier, your numeric C2 ID and your API key. You also select the data set that you want to link to this Collective2 strategy and a backtest start date, as well as a position size. So now with all of these things set up, you will simply, at the end of every market session or prior to the beginning of every session, you can select your strategy and click this run button. It will download your data, run the backtest, and any new signals that are generated will automatically get sent to your Collective2 strategy. So this is good for end of day system strategies. You set it up once, then every day, if you have multiple strategies linked here, you just click this run all linked strategies, and it goes through and does everything for you. So it's a good, clean, simple implementation of submitting your signals to Collective2. So next, the other way that you can submit signals to Collective2 is through our broker implementation. So we implemented Collective2 as another broker. So if I open up the order manager, normally you'd connect to your TD Interactive Brokers, Trader, whatever broker you're using, you can now select Collective2 and connect to them. So here we go. I'm connected to Collective2. It's showing me the active signals that I have in the market. You can now go in and place orders manually. Each of your Collective2 strategies is expressed as a account. So here I have 3 strategies on my Collective2, so I have 3 accounts here. So you can enter and manage orders for Collective2 in the order manager, or if you want to automatically submit signals to a strategy, you can use one of the many ways WealthLab is able to do that. So let's take a look at a couple of them. Let's open up a chart. Let's put in TQQQ and let's get 1 minute data going here, and we will turn on streaming. So I now have a streaming chart. So now if I have a strategy that I want to drag over there, let's say this one, for example, I've now attached a strategy to my streaming chart, and here I can configure auto trading. So if I press this auto trade, auto place strategy signals, it will automatically send any signals in this 1 minute streaming strategy to the selected broker, which can be a Collective2 strategy here. Here I would select which Collective2 strategy, which, like I said earlier, is expressed as an account. So here we go, a way to automatically submit intraday signals to your Collective2 strategy. The other ways in WealthLab are using the strategy monitor tool. So if I drag a strategy into the strategy monitor, I can configure it here under broker to go to Collective2, one of my strategies, do all of the other setup here. Then you can activate that in the strategy monitor and it will run at your designated interval, whether it's 1 minute every 5 minutes, whatever you set, it will then run and it can automatically place those signals to Collective2. The final way that I might show how to do this is, let's open up one of our dip buyer strategies. Let's say Knife Juggler, and we will run that. So every day this will generate a bunch of signals for us. So here we go. We have our 100 signals. We can now select them all. Rather than placing them all with the broker right away, which could overwhelm a broker, including Collective2, let us instead send them to a quotes window. So now I can activate this quotes window with a streaming source, for example, TD streaming, and I can select auto place, just like I did in my streaming chart. And whenever one of these symbols gets close to the limit trigger threshold, it can automatically submit that signal to Collective2. So let's enable that. Let's see what's going on here. So here we go. We have streaming data coming in. We have a bunch of alerts happening. That means some of the signals already hit the limit price. So it can then submit these signals to Collective2. So it's a way to execute and trade a limit system which might otherwise be impossible due to the sheer number of limit orders that are generated every day. The quotes tool lets you see what's happening in the market and only submit the orders that are getting triggered. Okay, so let's close that out. That is our Collective2 tight integration. Next, we have a new indicator. So let's open up our chart and click indicators here and search for VOL. We have the WilderVolStop, Wilder Volatility Stop. So this is from Wells Wilder's 1970s book, New Concepts in Technical Trading Systems. Hardly new anymore, but still has a very large following in technical analysis. So if I click OK here, we'll see some dots on the chart. This is Wilder's volatility stop. It's based on a average true range multiple that's like anchored to a significant price in an uptrend or downtrend. So this is a stop and reverse indicator similar to his parabolic SAR. So you notice that during an uptrend, the indicator plots below the price level, and then when the price penetrates that, it reverses and then goes short. So this would be the short period where the system is short, it would revert again, go long, short, etc. Let's see where we are now in this indicator scheme of things. We are currently long as of April 2023. So one other tweak we did to this implementation is we have this trailing stop parameter checkbox. So you notice that sometimes the stop can actually go lower during an uptrend. So that's because of volatility, the average true range multiplier. It could cause this stop value to bounce around a little bit. But if you check this box, it smooths out this stop and it enforces a rule that the stop level can never be below the previous bar's stop level. So that is Wilder's volatility stop. The last thing I wanted to talk about, let's go to the home page and open up one of my recent strategies, a large debug output here. So if you've used the write to debug method in your strategies and you were running a ton of debug output, you'll notice that it could basically have locked WealthLab and brought it to its knees because of the excessive outputting to the debug log. That has been solved. So this strategy writes a debug line for every single bar being processed, and I'm running it now on 10 years of NASDAQ 100 data, and it is complete, and it has written everything to the debug log instantaneously. No lockups, no delays. You can even right click and click the search here, which shows the search dialog. So you can quickly do a search, just like we had before. However, the response is now instantaneous. So a very good performance boost here for the debug window in Build 40. There's plenty of other changes in Build 40. You can read about them in detail in the release notes. But that's it for today, everyone. So thanks for watching, and we'll see you all on the forums.